I think this remains that one tragedy which already has a political connotation attached.
Absolutely.
We as humans, as members of a civil society, have completely forgotten that it was much more than that. It was actually a human tragedy. Those 59 people were 59 lives. Should be spoken about. Should have been spoken about.
This was exactly that, because when they first told me about it, I was like, oh my god, this is scary. I don't want to do it. And then the moment I met the team and I understood the seriousness with which they were making the film, and the intention was absolutely clear, and they wanted to stick to facts and they wanted to tell the truth, then I was like, this is the least one can do as an actor.
There was no live television at that time. This was actually the first time in India we actually saw live telecast. There were OB-1s,
They were tapes,
There were tapes at that point in time. For the first time, you actually saw live telecast.
Honestly, I started questioning everything I was seeing, because I was like, is there any truth to what I'm seeing? Or there is a bigger truth behind it? Is it even truth what we are watching on TV? A lot of times we see in the news and we're like, acha, so many people died. Okay, we move on. I think I wouldn't be able to move on anymore from that piece of news, because I've seen up close what happens to families and what happens when you're burnt like that, especially for our film.
Whether you're a left, just keep that aside for 2 hours, 10 minutes. Whether you're a right, keep that aside. And just watch this as a tragedy, which was also a result of our collective ignorance. वो गाने के अल्फाज जो हैं, तू हाँ कर या ना कर, तू है मेरी किरण, you were finished there.
Yeah, you're finished.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to News 18 Showsha. Today we have with us the amazing, very pretty ladies of Sabarmati and the leading man Vikrant Massey with us. Thank you so much for joining us, Raashii and Ridhi and Vikrant. Thank you so much for joining us on News 18.
Thank you so much for having us on your show.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. Sabarmati Report is coming. It's 2 days away, if I may say so. What's the feeling like? Nervous? Exhausting?
Both. And very exhausting. We want to just rest also.
And pretty.
Yes.
And pretty.
Yeah.
How was the whole process like? Something that has happened in the 2002, you're recreating that in 2024. It's not going to be the same, right? Like, it's very difficult to get that time zone and timeline again in a new era where you have new technologies in space and stuff and all. How was it to go back in time?
So I had this tape. So I'm this new journalist who wants to be this news reporter, and she's thrown into investigative journalism. And there's a tape I carry wherever I go to record stuff, and you're dependent on that tape. You're not dependent on any of the tapes here today in this world, because you can always go live. So there was this difference in technology that you will see in a subtle way, because obviously we had to recreate that time, and this time is very different from that time. So yeah, you'll see that. But I think that has a lot to do with the way our team has sort of created that atmosphere for us, and we just transported into that atmosphere. Yeah.
Was it difficult for you also to Vikrant? Firstly, massive successes. Congratulations on what you've done. Thank you so much for doing these things for us.
Thank you, sir.
There is absolutely, I think, for the last 2 years, there is no award function that I've seen where there is no mention of Vikrant Massey, and I really hope that continues.
Thank you.
That's
I hope
amazing.
that continues too.
Yes, touch wood.
Really hope.
But tell me, when this came to you, were you a little skeptical?
Of course.
And what
Not little, quite a bit. Quite a bit skeptical. And most of us were.
Yeah.
That's the nature of this tragedy, actually, unfortunately. And this remains the only tragedy. Maybe a couple more. But in modern context, post 2000, post the new millennia, I think this remains that one tragedy which already has a political connotation attached.
Absolutely.
We as humans, as members of a civil society, have completely forgotten that it was much more than that. It was actually a human tragedy. That one incident on the 27th of February changed our socio-political fabric for the rest of our life. So yes, it was very daunting, it was scary. If I may be very honest, I spoke to my family, I spoke to my near and dear ones, I took their advice. But then at the end, what mattered the most was that this story needs to be told, because unfortunately, even after 22 years, the story is still sort of lost somewhere. We know of the aftermath of it, of course. Heinous in any civil society that should never take place, should never happen. But what about what preceded that? that should be spoken about. Those 59 people were 59 lives should be spoken about, should have been spoken about. Had that been the case, we would not be making this film.
True. Ridhi, coming to you, congratulations to you too. And I really want to draw this point right now. Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Vikrant Massey.
Arey yaar.
Crazy trajectory, right? Like. So Ridhi, when this came to you, what was your state of mind at that point of time? What convinced you to do this?
See, I'm always up for challenges in the sense that as an actor, I only want to do stuff that sort of shakes me up a little bit and pushes me to move out of my very comfortable house. So this was exactly that, because when they first told me about it, I was like, oh my God, this is scary. I don't want to do it. And then the moment I met the team and I understood the seriousness with which they were making the film, and the intention was absolutely clear, and they wanted to stick to facts and they wanted to tell the truth, then I was like, this is the least one can do as an actor. We can all sit across and have debates and discussions, which all of us do on any sort of topic. But if I have the opportunity as an artist to be a part of a story that says so much, I'm not going to let it go. So the second time around, I was like, okay, Then I researched their research, and I asked them a lot of questions. And I was saying it in another interview, I was constantly looking for loopholes. I was looking for moments where I could catch them and say, but your intention is not clear. But that didn't happen, So I was like, okay, I'm with a secure team. I'm with a team that wants to tell this story with a lot of sensitivity and responsibly. So I had to be a part of it.
And make a good film.
Yeah,
by the end.
make a good
film.
Yeah.
Definitely. To all three of you, how does it feel to come on our side?
Horrible. I don't want to be there.
Lots of respect for all of
lots
you
of
for what you do.
See, I think especially investigative journalists, because I didn't know that side of journalism till I actually played this role. We just take it for granted, जो भी हम TV पे देखते हैं, but we don't know what goes behind to get that out. And I think for us, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, आँखें खुल जाती हैं. So when you go into the field and you understand the dangers of being in the field, then you sort of have immense respect for the people who are actually doing it. So as Ridhi said, we have immense respect for people who put their lives out to bring the truth out.
Absolutely, no doubt. Vikrant, coming to you, when the whole shooting was going on, and when the kind of script you got and the kind of research that was put in behind it, like Ridhi said, what was your process in making sure that the movie said what the facts were?
I can see a lot of it was taken care of. As an actor, you really cannot be expending your energy on working towards the research. I mean, you can definitely have your say. And our team is very democratic that way. Everybody was allowed to have their say because there were decent heads on firm shoulders. But there was an entire department which was delegated this job. And as Ridhi said, when we were given that research material, it was our responsibility as responsible actors to go home and make use of the internet the right way. So we did that. But not in that green room wherein you are actually sort of shortlisting things that you want to talk about. A lot of it was sort of delegated to people. They'd done their job. When the screenplay was ready, the facts according to the screenplay were presented.
Yeah.
And then we had to sort of corroborate it with our own intent or probably our own level of interest. So that was it. बहुत सारे suggestions हमारे भी थे. And coming back to the first question, it's always fun, I've been a part of a few period films. Like you can actually call this a period film because it's 2002.
Correct. It's 2 decades ago.
It's two decades ago, almost 23 years now. Say maybe in 3 months it will be 23 years. There was no live television at that time. This was actually the first time in India we actually saw live telecast. There were Obi-Wans.
They were tapes, as she said.
There were tapes at that point in time. For the first time, you actually saw live telecast. So, it was challenging, but it's also fun to recreate.
I think when you look back is when you realize how far you've come.
Yeah.
When you go through those struggles, you understand what we have today is amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So I was saying it was a lot of fun to recreate that era, to recreate that time. Also very challenging to recreate the tragedy. Absolutely. Also very draining emotionally and physically. So yeah. But I think I can say this for each and every member of our crew, those odd 160 people, that we are really proud of what we've done.
Absolutely, no doubt. And I really hope that comes across on the screen as well when you see this movie. 20 years back, a lot of things have changed, right? We ourselves individually also change on a personal level. True. Does this movie at any point of view on a personal level change the fact of truth to you guys?
Yes.
Of course.
We honestly, I started questioning everything I was seeing. Because I was like, is there any truth to what I'm seeing? Or there is a bigger truth behind it? Is it even truth what we are watching on TV? Like, I want to be able to trust the media with what they bring in. But can I trust them? That question came in after I did this film. Yeah.
So will that remain? Is that the question that everybody will ask?
I think
should
so.
be scared?
I think
want
people will ask a lot of questions once they've seen this film, but this will definitely be one of them. Yeah.
Alright, for sure. Is there anything that Ridhi, Vikrant, Raashii that has stayed back with you from this movie probably, and that will, you will carry that lesson forward in your next projects as well?
I mean, carry few things which would stay in life rather.
Yeah.
Probably we can see that.
Yeah, in life, not just professionally, but personally, I think things will stay.
I think
Yeah.
the one thing that will stay with me after this movie is don't believe everything you see on television.
I think for
News
me,
channels.
so many lives are lost and we don't care about them. You know, a lot of times we see in the news and we're like, acha, so many people died, okay, we move on. I think I wouldn't be able to move on anymore from that piece of news because I've seen up close what happens to families and what happens when you're burnt like that, especially for our film. I think that I'll take that away, that you shouldn't take lives lost very easily and just move on
And
from
not
them.
just treat them as indexes or statistics.
Yeah.
And we often tend to do that. The first thing you probably do is you wake up, you just begun your day, you pick up a newspaper and you see, for example, a train accident, a derailment, and you see 50 people have died. And probably now we are far more sensitized towards not just seeing them as statistics. And also because of this film or because of the research material or the time spent on the Sabarmati Report specifically, you automatically connect the dots and you understand because it's the nature of tragedy in that case is pretty similar. And you know there are lives which have just sort of, families have been uprooted, lives have been uprooted.
I understand.
Yeah, so it is tragic. It is tragic.
I understand. Do you believe after the release of the movie, probably the reactions that people have will change over the time?
I don't know what reacts. They are very polarized reactions.
Absolutely, no doubt.
So we don't know which way it'll go, but our intention was very clean. So we're hoping that.
But we hope,
Yeah,
one
hope.
thing we really hope is that, for once, and this is polarized is one word which we've been sort of encountering since we started
talking.
We acknowledge that these are difficult times. And not just social media, even drawing room conversations have sort of become borderline
Heated and
toxic.
very- yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can actually feel the
it.
heat. For once, we hope, when you reflect back on what happened in 2002 through this movie, I think we still have some iota or ounce of humanity left within us. Please don't, whether you're a left, just keep that aside for 2 hours, 10 minutes, whether you're a right, keep that aside, and just watch this as a tragedy which was also a result of our collective ignorance, our collective failure to honor those people who actually were just
People like you and me.
for once we can see it as a human tragedy.
Yes.
Do you think over the time when the audiences have evolved, and not case in point the Sabarmati Report at all, but other movies that we've seen so far, do you think audiences these days have become a little too critical as well?
Oh, very critical. I mean, I don't know if I should.
It's a good thing that they're critical as well. That's what we need.
No, but there's another side to
very
it which I think she
judgmental
wants to
now.
talk about.
I think like what I experienced when I spoke about a film in the past, and my God, the way I was trashed, I felt like I was dealing with the protagonist of the film. So it just seemed like what happened? Where did all the humans go? So it's and there were times when I was speaking to someone and that person's talking to me about the film, but I was like, but that's not in the film. That's not in the film. And it was a friend, and he's like, I've not seen the film, but I feel this film is wrong. I said, my God, what happened to you? You used to be a normal human being. Where did that person go? So yes, people have become extremely critical, which is okay, but they become judgmental, you know, and we as human beings are always judgmental. We need to judge things to understand where our perspective lies, but we cannot run down each other. You know, that is a very, it is worrisome, because, you know, you may belong to right, left, up, down, whatever wing you may belong to. But if you're going to be intolerant to the person in front of you, they're going to be intolerant to you. Then what are we going to do? None of us are going to be able to express. None of us are going to have the freedom to do anything that we want to do. And that's a very dangerous society.
True. Very hostile, if I may say so.
Very hostile, absolutely.
No, you know, the other day we were also listening to what Rohit Shetty sir, and in fact I had a word with Diya ma'am as well. We were talking about Raina Teri Me. You know, imagine a Madhavan character doing the same thing in this era.
I spoke to Madhavan sir on this.
What did he
And
say?
he's like, people think it's stalking
Exactly.
at that time.
Exactly.
You know, but what is a guy supposed to do when he likes a girl? He will try to get in touch with her, right? There were no phones at that time to sort of get her number, I'll try to contact her. You want to be able to be in a space where you can see her or just hope that she'll see you back. But because the emotion of love is very pure in that guy's heart, so you cannot, obviously, you see it from today's perspective and you judge it, but in that time, it wasn't what people think it is today.
It was romantic.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I would want to add here is, you know, today, especially because of social media and our access to it, most importantly, because it's in our pockets, everybody, or rather most of them, want to hold a higher moral ground in public, but refuse to look within.
That's a very good point.
I can vouch for.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Absolutely. That's
Publicly, they
bang
want to
on.
hold a higher moral ground.
Bang on.
Like the other day, I spoke about the same thing. अभी RHTDM की हम बात कर रहे हैं, तो I said कि one of my favorite songs or one of my favorite movies, Dar.
You know, Dar was in my mind, but I was like, it's a Shah Rukh film.
Dar
I'm
बना
not going to
सकते
talk
हो।
about it. Not going to put it
नहीं
in the
बना
same light. No, you
वो
can't.
गाने के अल्फाज जो हैं, तू हाँ कर या ना कर, तू है मेरी किरण, you were finished there.
Yeah, you're finished.
Yeah.
I mean that's.
Shah Rukh sir will sign up for it again. Sorry.
But this is the unfortunate reality, and of course, you know, life में humor होना चाहिए, इसलिए हम हंस भी रहे हैं. Probably because we are थोड़ी सी civility है, इसलिए humor में हंसना जरूरी है, but ये acknowledge करना पड़ता है आपको.
Exactly, no, but this is exactly what I was coming to. Are we forgetting that movies are for entertainment?
We've forgotten. We're not forgetting, we've forgotten. I mean, like, you know, he's been saying that we're going on interviews being asked political questions, and we're not the first actors to be asked those questions. We've also. So I feel that's ridiculous, honestly.
मैंने ये भी कहा था ना, साथ ही में थे ना, जब मैंने कहा था कि एक्टर्स की करंट अफेयर्स की नॉलेज क्या है,
हाँ.
एक्टर्स का IQ क्वोशंट कितना है, जनरल नॉलेज कितना है, पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में आपको कितनी जानकारी है.
बट क्या पता मैं बहुत बड़ी बेवकूफ हूँ, लेकिन मैं एक अच्छी एक्टर हूँ, हो सकता है ना. Then why am I judged by my general knowledge more than I am judged by my craft?
True, like it's been like, you know, actor ho, so you should know or you should have an opinion about something or the other.
I don't think you need to
Or-
have an
and
opinion.
what
I
if
think
you
it
don't
works.
have an opinion? That benefit of doubt is also not there. She said about it the other day. What if I don't have an opinion? You bracket me immediately.
Because I feel like before you have an opinion, you need to know
Have
everything about that particular incident, whatever that current affair is. You need to know everything and then you take a stand. You cannot just take a stand कि चार लोग ये बोल रहे हैं, oh I follow them, so मेरा भी वही stand है. But then that's irresponsible. So I might just not voice it out, because there is a responsibility that comes on actors, because there are people who follow you or see what you're saying. So I think our tongue is a very important tool. We should use it wisely. Yeah.
I understand. Enough of seriousness.
Yeah.
But coming to you, how is the baby?
Very well. Very cute.
Very cute.
Is that like a stress buster once you go?
Yes. My biggest stress buster. I think. I love him.
After all this serious day of work, when you go back home, what's the first thing you do?
The first thing I do is I wash my hands and I wash my feet and my face and I just cuddle him. Yeah, that's the only thing I need.
Makes everything worth
My
it.
mom is upset. My wife is upset. She's like, अब तो हमें देखता ही नहीं है. पर वो सच भी है. नहीं देखना मुझे आपको.
Okay. On the work front, Raashii, Ridhi, what can we expect in the coming months?
There is a fabulous film. I'm just going to rave about it. It's called. Yeah, she knows.
And it's back.
It's with me and Vikrant.
It's very good.
it's with me and Vikrant, and I
मुझे भी
cannot.
डाल ही दो
And we cannot wait for people to watch that film. It deserves that stature that I'm giving it because I feel it's a fabulous film.
ए भाई बहुत जूते पड़ेंगे अगर
नहीं अच्छी फिल्म है यार. इतना अपनी फिल्म में अगर हम if we don't we are not confident about
अच्छी
it.
फिल्म है इतना तो मुझे भी पता चल गया.
It's a good.
I think maybe because I'm very attached to the film, which I'm usually not to films in general.
And the director of that film
Yeah, is the writer.
is the writer of Sector 36.
Wow.
Talking about Sector
बोधयन Roy Chaudhary.
And
He's
his
brilliant.
first film as a director.
Oh wow.
He's brilliant.
Sector 36 was something else.
Yeah.
Totally. Did it take a toll on you?
नहीं,
बिल्कुल नहीं.
बिल्कुल.
Were you able to switch on, switch off?
Absolutely. I was very clear. Even during rehearsals, I was very clear.
How did you do that?
No,
that's why
because
he's an
past
actor.
experiences have been counterproductive, no?
Oh, okay.
Past experiences have been like I've got those guys home. तो इस बार दिल्ली में था और दिल्ली में मेरी एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली है, दोस्त हैं. आमतौर पे मैं मतलब सेट होटल टर्न अराउंड है तो देन आई हैव अ कपल ऑफ ड्रिंक्स विद माय यूनिट ओनली. बट इसमें हफ्ते के 3 दिन आई वुड मेक श्योर दैट आई गो आउट, मीट माय फ्रेंड्स,
Right. That's an
you know,
effort also.
spend time with people outside,
Get
go
out
watch a
of the
movie,
bubble.
which I never do. Is because वो जरूरी था.
Right.
So there is Salakho Mein Ek, and there is another Hindi film that I've signed which is about time travel. I cannot reveal too many details, but that's also a very exciting project. And there is Telugu Mein Des Telusu Kada, and there is Medavi in Tamil. So these are my projects for now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Packed year. Definitely. Fingers
Back
crossed.
years.
Years.
Back years,
That'd be the case. What about you, Ridhi?
I have a web show coming up and a film that I can't talk much about. You know,
Genre,
with
please.
everything that goes on. The web show is very interesting. It's about 3 siblings, and it's a
Drama?
I don't wanna say,
Drama?
yeah, it's a drama, and it's going to be amazing. And I've never acted like the way I've acted in that show, and it's a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that coming out. And then there's a film that also, you know, the problem is you can't talk about most things because everyone wants you to talk about things when they announce it. So I can't really say.
I understand. Before I leave you, Vikrant, you met Amitabh Bachchan.
Yes.
What did he tell you behind the camera? Tell us.
I mean, he saw 12th fail 1.5 times.
Wow.
And
Oh, wow.
that is a big thing in itself. He loved my work. He publicly also sort of acknowledged it. क्या बोलूँ यार, मतलब अभी वो बच्चन साहब ने जो बोला वो बोला, अभी मैं पब्लिक के सामने बोलूँगा तो लोगों को लगेगा मैं थोड़ा सा boastful हो रहा हूँ, but very
But that's something you should boast.
I think he deserves it also. Come on.
very generous of him to sort of make time to watch the film, not once but half a more time rather. तो ठीक है, you know, अच्छा लगा उनके साथ मिलके, उनको मेरा काम पसंद है, तो अच्छा ही लगता है. अमिताभ बच्चन को जब आपका काम पसंद आता है तो यार
Absolutely. Okay.
Head of
guys.
cinema loves your work.
गॉड ऑफ सिनेमा.
True.
Absolutely. Living legend.
कुछ रैपिड फायर वैसा है कुछ.
The rapid fire नहीं है exactly,
at
but I
us.
have something different for you guys. But see, since you guys have come to our end, there's something related to what we do on a daily basis for you guys. Okay. Now this is something that we want to see what you guys in our positions can do for them.
ठीक है.
Now these are 3 separate segments for each one of you about your co-stars.
Okay.
So people you have, so I'll start with Vikrant, so you get a hang of it. Alright. So Vikrant, you have to give us, if you had to give a headline or like a biography title for these people of your co-stars, who would it be? Okay. What would it be, Sada? Sorry. Yami Gautam.
Can I not be part of this because I'll be so bad.
I think
This is what's going to happen.
I mean, मैं बोलने वाला था, but then she's very close to me, so welcome to the hood, motherhood.
Okay. Taapsee Pannu.
तापसी पन्नू, रानी where's my पानी,
Medha.
मेधा शंकर, plain Jane,
Plain Jane.
very simple, she's beautifully simple.
Very nice. Raashii, to you.
No,
John
don't
Abraham.
ask me.
Just a couple of them.
go
Come
for
on.
it.
John
I mean,
Abraham.
just like a
Whatever comes to your first.
John
Whatever
Abraham.
comes first to your mind. Chalo, I'll give
Hulk
you more
of
easy.
Bollywood.
Hulk of Bollywood. Okay. Siddharth Malhotra.
Siddharth. Help guys.
You can actually change it. You can call Siddharth the Hulk and you can call him Bulk.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hulk of Bollywood and Hulk
Hulk of Bollywood. Yeah, thank you.
Not bad. Okay. Ajay sir. Ajay.
Ajay sir, he's like a king to like for me. So the king of Bollywood.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Shahid then?
Prince.
Versatile, the most versatile actor.
Alright.
Yeah.
she has already taken the title of king. So Ridhi, we come to you.
For Shah Rukh?
Shah Rukh Khan.
Love.
Love.
Absolutely. Salman Khan.
Large-hearted.
Okay, you gave love to Shah Rukh Khan. So what about Vikrant Massey?
Oh my God! I think I want to.
Be nice.
I want to take everything in his brain and like actually want to. How does he act? You know, so that's-
Can I
that's
give a name to him? The dark horse of Bollywood.
something- a dark horse.
Oh my.
Dhire
Actually, one
dhire.
second. I've been saying something in every interview, so I should say it for him right now. He's the new common angry young man.
Wow. Not a bad thing.
Yeah,
Not a bad thing
saying
at
it
all.
everywhere I know.
On that note, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you
thank
so much for this.
Thank you.
Lovely chatting.
Thank you.
Lovely chatting.
Same here.
Thank
Same
you.
here. Thank you so much.
और प्लीज जाके आप देखें हमारी फिल्म द साबरमती रिपोर्ट 15 नवंबर को अपने नजदीकी सिनेमा घरों में
Definitely.
Thank you.
और देखना ना भूलें न्यूज़ 18।
Thank you.